What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Combat Sports Media YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about UFC 272, Covington versus Masvidal. We're going to be breaking the fight down and giving out a prediction. But before I go any further, please like and subscribe if you already haven't done so, especially if you enjoy my content. We got plenty of great things coming up and a lot of new things as well within due time. Now, let's get started. Let's talk about Masvidal first. Now, Masvidal, he's the definition of a dynamic striker. He is fleet-footed. He's explosive. He's powerful. But what separates him from the rest and what makes him is his creativity when it comes to putting strikes together. He is one of the best, if not the best, that I've seen when it comes to stringing strikes together and just overall out-of-the-box thinking. That's what makes him different from all the other great strikers in the history of the sport. He's spontaneous and he's creative. He also, like I said, has good feet, so he could move in and out very well. He also, does things like step back, counter. So he's also very good at stringing different strikes together, such as like he'll throw an elbow, a kick, and a punch in the same combination. Sometimes you'll see fighters a lot of times, even though they may be great strikers, if they throw a combination, 9 times out of 10, it's with their hands or with their feet only. He's really good at stringing everything together, whether it's elbows, kicks, punches, it don't matter. And he also has great timing, okay? And he plays with it too. He uses it to open up options for himself offensively. Now, the downside of Masvidal is, a lot of you guys might say it's his ground game and whatnot. And, obviously his striking is far better than his ground game, in my opinion. But his ground game is not, it's not like it's a deficit. I don't view his ground game as a weak link. Sure, are there people that are superior? Of course. But for MMA, he's not trying to be an Olympic wrestler. For MMA, his ground game is more than sufficient, if you ask me. Especially with all the striking skills that he has to go along with it. It's not like his bread and butter, is his ground game. It's not like he's going to be going in there looking for submissions. What his weakness to me really is his inconsistency. What made Floyd Mayweather was every time he stepped in the ring, and I know it's a different sport, but every time he went in the ring, it was the same person. There was no inconsistencies, regardless of what was going on outside the ring. With Jorge, he's a very up and down fighter. The last time we saw him, he wasn't looking terrible. He wasn't. I'm not going to say that, but I don't know. He rarely goes on a more than 3 fight winning streak. like that's telling right there, you know? And it's not because of a lack of ability or anything like that. It just, you know, as a professional in combat sports, especially, it's extremely difficult to be the same guy every time you step into the ring or the octagon. And that's a lot of times what separates the good fighters from the great fighters. Masvidal is a very good fighter, but I don't think he's a great fighter. He's not. The reason why he will not be a GSP is because of the lack of consistency. He's simply not the same exact person or ready to put on the same caliber kind of performance every time he steps into the octagon. Like I said, very rarely does he. Actually, I don't even think he's had more than a 3-fight winning streak in the UFC. You know, he never wins more than 3 times in a row before going on a losing streak. So that's pretty telling. He's extremely inconsistent, and it has nothing to do with his abilities. It's all, it could come down to discipline, it could come down to preparation, it could come down to a lack of focus, but it's not because of a lack of skills or ability. So let's move on to Colby Covington. Now, Colby, he is a better wrestler, in my opinion, than Masvidal. And to his credit, he's also a very good striker for for UFC. You know, I consider him a very good striker. He likes to look for that big right hand of his, that powerful right hand. And a lot of times he likes to throw it overhand. But in my opinion, he's much better off straightening that punch out. I think it's more accurate when he straightens it out, and he lands a lot more consistently. However, a lot of times sometimes he'll lunge in when he throws that overhand right, and that's something he has to watch out for, because Masvidal looks for things like that and capitalizes off of them, as we all know. He has to watch out to not get hit with big counter shots when he does that. Other than that, you know, he mixes and kicks really well. He's not nearly as creative as Masvidal when it comes to his striking, but he's very fundamentally sound and he's well schooled. And like I said, he definitely does hold the edge when it comes to the wrestling, in my opinion. Now, some of his biggest wins, by the way, they're both 5'11". Covington has a 72-inch reach. Masvidal has a 74-inch reach. So they're roughly the same size. But in my opinion, Colby Covington has the far superior resume. He has wins over the likes of Robbie Lawler. He has wins over the likes of Tyron Woodley, Rafael dos Anjos, Damian Maia, who Masvidal actually lost to, which shows if you can make the match into a jiu-jitsu match or a wrestling match, or get a hold of Masvidal, you could expose his lack of, you know, if you're superior to him. What I'm trying to say is Covington deals with people who have a good ground game a lot better. He's a more well-rounded fighter. He may not be a more well-rounded striker, but he's a more well-rounded fighter overall, and he's defeated better people than Masvidal has. Masvidal's best wins are probably against Darren Till, Ben Askren, Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz is probably his best win all time, and you know, Nate Diaz is definitely a quality fighter. However, Nate Diaz never became a world champion. Robbie Lawler has destroyed ex-world champions. And also, he's very consistent. and it's not because he's more dynamic striker or anything like that. I think he prepares better for each fight than Jorge does. I think he's mentally more stable. I think he is just a more consistent athlete. And, for that reason, and look, as a fan, I like Jorge Masvidal more. I enjoy watching him more. I'm a fan of strikers. I like to watch strike. I'm a boxing fan first. So when I move over to watch MMA, I'm always gonna enjoy the great strikers more than the other fighters. And that's just what I find entertaining. I love fighters that are looking to punch you in the fucking face. That's why I like Conor McGregor, even though he's nowhere near being the best fighter in his weight class. Jorge Masvidal, same thing. I enjoy watching him. I love dynamic strikers. However, when this is a prediction that I'm making, and I can't favor him in this fight because of all the reasons I just said. He's just not consistent enough for me to go with him in this fight, especially a guy like Covington who has been operating at a higher level than him, in my opinion, because look at his wins and look at Masvidal's best wins. I mean, you kind of, one's clearly better than the other as far as like resume is concerned as of late. So, and like I said, he wins a lot, whereas Masvidal will go on a 3-fight win streak max, and then he'll go back to losing a fight or two. So I'm going with the more consistent guy, and arguably the more well-rounded guy as well. So there you have it, folks. Anything can happen in this fight. I'm very much looking forward to it. This is going to be an explosive night of action, and these are the kind of MMA fights that I'm into and can't wait to watch. Thank you all for tuning in. Once again, please subscribe if you already haven't done so, and enjoy the fights. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.